Hi. I'm not sure it's all working. I can see some of you coming on. I mean, white gecko coming out your ears today. I have a slight problem with demo today. There is no machine. So I'm going to talk you through it. Honestly, this is so easy and so cool. I am so excited about how well it works. So I'm just going to talk you through it. If I can find a needle, a proper needle. No, she must have taken them all with her. There's a big needle, but she's taken all her pin cushion. Oh, look, there's one. Oh, that needle will do if I want to use it. So, how is everybody? What day is it? It's Thursday. I'm very excited because I'm off now for 4 days. I'm going on a hen do to Dorset, which should be interesting because the weather is not supposed to be brilliant, so we shall see. I'm not sure that this place, I don't know what has happened here. I don't know where that's going to reach or anything. Let's see if I can move that over without completely wrecking the joints. Hopefully that's okay. A couple of things. We're going to try and get a this is the royal we because I'm not here. We're going to try and get a raffle on this weekend sometime, and there might be a sale going on with what we're going to put a sale on, planes and bumbleberries or bumbleberries. So we've been through, Beth and I counted it all yesterday, so hopefully it's all up to date. So yeah, that's going to be the next sale, is planes. So stock up on all your planes because I'm not sure what she's been doing. 20%, whether it'll be 10 or 20%, I don't know. Right, what are we making today? Let's have a look and see who's there, because you've all been talking and I can see it moving up. Oh, I'm sure it'll be a brilliant hen do. We're staying in a yurt, so hopefully they look. We're going to Walnut Farm Glamping, and those, have a look, those yurts are something else. They really are. So hi everybody, all these names. How you doing? How was the wedding, Anne? I saw a couple of pictures of you sat with a glass of orange juice, wasn't it? But it seemed like you'd had a really nice time. Planes, there's planes. Yes, we are going to all the planes. We do have some plain fabric, but yeah, all the planes are plain. Right, okay. Nikki, you're back in Spain. I am jealous. I am jealous. And all that warm weather. However, ladies, I'm glowing today, which is why we're going to make a neck cooler. How cool is this? Look at this. So this is a neck cooler, right? Now, if we could sew it and me put the stuff in, I'm going to try and do it by hand. It's so cool. It's unbelievable. It's so cool. So it is just brilliant. Now all this stuffing in here is not actually stuffing, it's crystals. These water storing gel crystals. And honestly, I got so excited yesterday doing it. You can get similar ones, they're little orbs. I think the official ones are Orbeez, and you just put them in water and they swell up. Well, this took 30 seconds and it was as swollen as this, right? So we're just going to talk it through. It's cooler today in Portsmouth. Portsmouth is down south, isn't it? Sort of on the thing. And this is really, really cool. So the pattern that I first saw, hang on, let me just check what I've got in here all together. I've got my cam snaps. I needed that. However, we're not going to be able to put it all together, so don't need my leggings. Got yoga later. Now, the one that I saw turned round and they wanted you to use a 36-inch length, right? So it would have come down here and you would sew this, so this then would tie. Now I've got cam snaps, so I thought I'll use the cam snaps, okay? But you could, if you don't have cam snaps or don't want to use poppers or buttons or anything like that, you could leave it longer so that you tie it, okay? So if we go to this one, so I've cut this at, let me move the page. You have some Orbeez. Ah, there we are. I mean, if I'd have remembered what they were called when I was looking for them, I'd have had those, because this one here, the crystals, there's a bit of powder and there's like a residue. You know, all the tiny pieces will come through. But I would imagine the more that you use it, the less likely it is for you to for it to come through, okay? Because you're going to get a certain amount of dust. It's a bit like, you know, sugar or salt or anything. You get those minute pieces, and the Orbeez are actual orbs, hence the name, I suppose, orbs, and so they would keep their keep their substance. I mean, you can get giant orbs, but they're no good for this. Right, so I've used 5-inch, right? This is 5-inch by 25-inch, okay? So you could make it out of a fat quarter. So from a fat quarter, you'd make 4 this size, okay? So you're just going to put it right sides together, like this. Now I sewed down one end and then all the way up the side. Now if this one was a 25, so let's cut it off there like that, so that we're dealing with a small amount. So I would have sewn all the way up there and down one end. All right, turn it out the right way. Okay, you can press it if you want, but you're going to shove it in some water, so it really isn't going to matter very much. And then once it's out the right way, which would be like this, okay, once it's out the right way like this, you want to sew about 2 inches from the end, put a top stitch in, okay, and that is going to give you this flat piece, which you've got no crystals in. All right, that there you could put a buttonhole in it, or you could sew a popper onto it, but that's the bit that you're going to attach around your neck. And then you're going to put, now I'll show you how much I put in there. All right, so this is the scoop that comes with it. All right, it's a tiny little scoop. I put 2 small scoops, so not quite full, not heaped, just level scoops. I put 2 into each of these little pockets. I could probably have gone less. You probably don't need even that much. Now, I then sewed 5 inches. I put another 2 scoops and sewed top stitched another 5 inches. And then I did that, so you get 4 of these pouches, and you can see it's quite full. And this has been left overnight, not in water. So you can imagine how puffed up. So you could probably get away with a spoon and a half to try it out. I mean, you could make a little sausage and put in 2 and then put it in the water and see how that goes. And then this end, no, that would be this end, I just folded it over and top stitched it and then put my cam snaps on, and that's it. Now I know that I'm known for heavy cutting out type things and a long time, you know, things taking a long time. I said to Linda, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. She said, no you won't. Where are we? What's the time? It's 1:15 and I started late and we're done. Okay, so that's it. I'm off now. These I bought, you could get these in the garden centre. These are just for you to put into your, you know, if you put them in your plant pots and stuff, and they absorb all the water. So as you know, they'll just take the water out of these crystals. So you might have some of these already sitting out in your shed. They are, it says do not swallow or breathe in the dust. Keep away from children and pets. Now, I'd probably use the Orbeez if I was doing it for kids. You could just make it and stick water in it, you know, stick it in the water and shove it in the freezer. I've not tried this in the freezer, so that might be the next thing to try. But it is really cool. It's cool, but it's also really cool. And they reckon if it starts to get warm, you just take it off, turn it over and put it back on again. And it's surprising how cold it is. I don't think I can tell you any more about it. If there'd have been a sewing machine, it would have taken longer, but I love this fabric, so I'm going to make another one because it was really, really quick and it just made me very happy. So that's it. What else have you been up to? You'll be lunching early today then? Yeah, I told you it'll only be about 10 minutes, Lind. Sorry. You don't really need me to go on because you've had Sarah twice already today, so that's quite good. You could make short versions to go around wrists and ankles, perfect. Even if you just made a piece about that big, so if you did like a 10 inch by 10 inch, you could put it, if you've got a migraine or a headache, you could put it on there, and that would be perfect. That would be ideal. You could put it across your eyes. I mean, if you were worried about anything, you could, I suppose, make it a double thickness, which would give you a little bit more, it's less likely to come out. If you use a batik, the weave is tighter, I believe, on a batik, so they'd be quite good. I mean, they did say batiks were good for face masks. So, so there you go. So I will be taking this with me over the weekend for my hangover, pretty much. And I could make one to go with every outfit. They'd be ideal if you're going on holiday somewhere warm. You could make these, and once they're dry, because I would imagine, I'm surmising because I thought it might dry out a little bit over the night, but it didn't. I mean, you squeeze it, there's no water coming out, not really. So, but eventually they would dry out and go back to crystals, and then you just recharge it. There you go. Damp cloth, a damp man's handkerchief cools the blood flow to the head. That's very good. I always put my wrists under water, cold water. If I get really hot, cold water on your wrists, because the blood is going through there, back through your body, so you cool that bit down. And they also reckon if you cool your liver, the liver is the hottest part, so you want to cool that. So one of these around your tummy, sitting on your back, might give you a cold in the kidneys though. Right, I'm just chatting rubbish now. You need 4, okay? I'll make you 4, Meg. I've got loads of crystals. They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They just makes my daughter, so I'll make her some. And I got to play with my cam snaps. Right, that's 20 minutes of me wittering on, or 15 minutes of me wittering on. I'm going back to continue packing up the create and craft. That's what it is now, isn't it? Create and craft. I'm going to go and do those orders. And Sarah's done really well. She's sold out of quite a few things. So Linda and I have started the packing because, of course, I'm not here tomorrow. So we'll do as much as we can today. So there's less for them to do tomorrow. I'll see you next week. And Sean will let you know what we're doing next week. Tomorrow or Saturday. Bye. Have a lovely weekend. I'm going to. I'll see you soon. Take care. Oh.